we call it our assistant, right? Everyone on my team, we have our assistants. And so in meetings, you'll hear people say, can you have your assistant go look this up? And then like 3 minutes later on the call, they come back with everything we need to know about that. And the assistant, of course, are these AI models, right? It's like the running joke in the company.
Hopefully they're saying please and thank you for whenever the AI overlords take over, right?
Exactly. But there's a ton of stuff in my company, even like there's a lot that has to be done. We collect data from all over the world, literally hundreds of thousands of different websites every day. We collect data on millions and millions, tens of millions of jobs every month, and we have to consolidate it together. We have to organize it. We have to analyze it. And in the past, being able to take data from one source and integrate it in with another source was something that would take us a month or more to figure out how to do that. And with AI, we now can do it in a matter of like an hour or less in a lot of cases. So there's lots of ways we use it behind the scenes.
A lot of time saved.
Yeah, a lot of time saved. And we're just one kind of little tiny application, one little tiny use case. Multiply that out across every, function in a company everywhere in the world. And that's the kind of impact that is starting to happen. So
wage transparency and market transparency in general, good thing or bad thing?
I think it's a great thing. I think it's an uncomfortable thing for lots of companies, but they got other things to be uncomfortable about too. And I don't think, folks, we're like at the top of the second inning on the whole, game around wage transparency. I don't think people fully understand how to take advantage of that yet. And we're definitely a long way from a world where it's not even thought about. It's just kind of a given, but it's I think really powerful. It's powerful in ways that people always think about, like the job seekers and having, wage transparency, or their employees being able to see what, positions are paying and discern from that what other, employees might be getting paid and how that can be kind of threatening and uncomfortable from a management standpoint. Oh, that's true, but you learn to adapt your leadership approach with all of that. But, here are some applications around transparency that I don't think people have really thought about. For example, it is entirely possible, and in fact, we can do it at WageScape, to figure out who has the most supportive environment from a career standpoint for people based on their gender or ethnicity or age. Okay. So who gives the best career opportunities as evidenced by career advancement? Who gives the best skills development opportunities as evidenced by the skills that people actually have? Who, and as evidenced by the rate at which people leave at certain points in their career. All of these things now are frankly available in the public. If you know where to look, and if you've got the right analytic tools, these are closely guarded secrets in most companies. I mean, I remember when I was on the corporate side, you couldn't use TNT to blow open the safe that had the information about career pathing based on gender or ethnicity or age, right? It was closely guarded. It still is in a lot of cases. But to be honest with you, it's kind of a moot point, because all you got to do is look at people's career profiles, which are freely available online, and figure all that out. And if you've got the right analytics to ingest, hundreds of thousands of profiles, you can figure it out. So it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from being able to say, this company does better than this company with naming the companies. People haven't decided to do that yet, but it's just a matter of time. There's a lot that people regard as closely held secrets, within organizations that, frankly, that emperor has no clothes, because those secrets are easily discernible from what's available in the public. And there's lots of folks like us that know how to go after those kinds of insights, and there's a market that'll pay for it. So that's all, an aspect of transparency. One of the things recruiters love about our data is they can see what other companies are hiring for and what they're likely to be paying for certain jobs. They love that level of transparency, and frankly, they're surprised by it. And then once they learn to, once they get their head around what it represents, they very rapidly, recruiting teams will incorporate that into how they operate on a day-to-day basis, especially recruiting teams that are part of a firm, because then that becomes a really powerful business development capability. They can go and they can figure out how to expand existing accounts by looking at the kinds of jobs that they're not catching. They can figure out where to go get new accounts, and they can figure out where to go get talent. Because if company A is hiring for a certain kind of position 6 months ago, then that there's somebody there. If you're hiring for the same position for company B, that there's somebody at company A that's got that job, right? And so,
diabolical.
It's right.
So you get the free training. It sounds like a recruiter with the right data can get the free training from another company, and they strategically find them at 6 months and then bring them on to get them up to speed, probably for less money.
The good BDMs in recruiting firms are all over this kind of stuff. They see top to bottom at the relationship management level, all the way down to the very tactical, where can we go to find candidates to fill these jobs, and where do we focus on developing relationships with job seekers? And so there's a much richer pool of information that's becoming available. I would say we're still early in that game. I've been at this for 10 years now, and we've seen the recruiting use cases really start to take off over the last 2 to 3 years, I would say, and it's accelerating even more.